Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome for a new weekly show, Timeout for Tamriel. It's a very short show where we will speak about one subject by week that you can choose, guys. At the end of the episode, we will propose you 2 subjects and we will wait for your votes. And next week, we will speak about that one. So, today and every week, I will be with Deltia. You know him, you love him, he's making awesome guide, he's a pro player, and Trick, the man who is the 1,000 clones of himself, the proud North warrior. Rawr. So, this week we are going to speak about content cadence. Timeout. Deltia, you start.
Content and cadence. So, what I brought up and some people were asking me to make a video about is the content cadence and the frequency of how often content's being released. And I think we all know here, it's not a big secret that they were talking about releasing the consoles in June, and PC players were wondering, well, what's for us? And I think they announced, and others off the record, Paul Sage said that, basically nothing's coming until June, after the June, when the console's released, besides 1.6, which 1.6 really doesn't offer anything besides the champion system. So that's going to be basically about 9 months of lack of content for PC players. And we kind of want to have a round table discussion about that. And so I wanted to push it to Sig first. Sig, tell us a little bit about you and your gameplay and how this impacts you.
Well, I am the ultimate altaholic, I guess. Character after character, just trying to figure out the game. I enjoy the leveling process a little bit more, I think, than what happens at the end game. So, that's kind of my background and how I play. And a lot of the content updates that they've come out with so far since the game launched haven't really been anything that I've done yet, because I get up to VR1 and then it's like, ooh, I need a new character. So, all the Dragonstar Arena and Craglorn and all that kind of stuff, I haven't really seen yet. I'll get to it eventually, but so with them postponing new updates in the future, I'm not exactly sure that'll affect me immediatally. But I'm hoping, there was some talk about some content that would be scalable to level. So I, kind of concerned how it would affect that.
Well, that's what I'm curious about. Is I know you have one aspect, and I'm kind of totally at the opposite end, which is I play everything, I've done it all, and that's why I moved on to PvP, because there's nothing for me to do anymore. And in terms of PvE, I don't want to do the Serpent Trial for 9 months. It's not fun. There's no point. There's no gear chase anymore. But Loa, you're kind of in the middle, because you got VR1 now and you're doing some of that stuff. What do you think about that?
Well, yes. For me personally and selfishly, it will not really affect me because I'm a slowpoke and I'm kind of someone which is not really difficult, so I really enjoy. I'm not really easily tired of something, so I can do the same things for a long time. It will still amuse me, and I will find pleasure in it. And if I I have a lot of imagination and stuff like that. I'm also taking care of my community and my guilds, so I'm busy with social events, stuff like this. Can come up with a roleplay event suddenly. I'm not doing roleplay since a long time, but so personally it doesn't affect me. But I understand that for a lot of players, including some of my guildmates, and then by feedback, or backlash, it will affect me. And for those persons that are more fast, it will be annoying because the content that has been launched already, it's really high quality content, but it has already been explored by a lot of players. And the Guild Hodor, for instance, have already finished everything. And so for a lot of players to wait 9 more months before to have the first new stuff, that will be long. But in the same time, I understand why ZeniMax is doing it. We are no more their first targets. Their first target is the console players, and it will not be interesting for them from a business and promotional point of view to release new content immediately at the release of the console. They need to wait that the console players have reached veteran level to do something like that. Otherwise, it's a waste.
Changes the landscape of the game. The landscape of the game right now feels a lot more MMO than it does a console game. And I think for the PC players, we are kind of like the stepchildren of this game now, because there's not going to be a whole lot of stuff coming out for us, if anything. So in my circles, I know a lot of people who do PvE are looking forward to 1.6, but I think after the initial excitement of 1.6, you're going to see a large migration of players leave this game that are the serious PvEers. Now, Sig, I don't know if you are very social in game or outside of game. What have you heard from the community on your angle?
Well, this is the content on hold thing is relatively new news to me, so I haven't really haven't heard much about it. But thinking on it, part of this whole change with going to the consoles and everything is including, or supposed to include, downloadable content that the buy to play players are supposed to be able to buy. So I can't see them holding on to content and not releasing it for long lengths of time, because they're going to want to get the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of confusing, but
I think they will after the consoles are released, and I think they will. I love the developers, but I really have to say this time I think they're going to piecemeal content. I think they already have Imperial City done, and I think they're waiting for that to be the first DLC pack. I really do, because what else has PvP gotten and how long? And look at the resources of PvP. You make Cyrodiil, what updates do you need to have to Cyrodiil? Nothing, right? You just have to update it, make sure there's no bugs or exploits, and people can sit and spend trillions of hours in there, whereas a dungeon, you have to develop it from scratch. You have to make models, you have to make animations. PvP, their story is fighting each other, not an NPC.
Right.
What do you think about that, Loa?
Yeah, you're totally right. For the developers, it's a lot more interesting to have a lot of PvPers excited about their game, because they will pay for and they don't need to be taken care of so much beside class balance and bugs and lag free. That's very important for the PvPers, and I think they are currently working on that very hard, and that's probably one of their top priority, so they can keep the PvPers interested into their game and to not lose them, because it's the cheap or the easily satisfied players once everything is balanced. The PvEer require new raids, new dungeons. They always want more, and it take a long time to set up, or they need to find a way to make it last longer. Like now they have done the dailies, the Undaunted dailies. That's a way to reuse the same content and to make it last a little bit longer. So maybe they will update some Undaunted rewards with the same dungeon. So you have kind of that's a kind of easy way to reuse the content and such, not waste too much resource on developing something. But for developers, I guess that I would prefer myself to have a lot of PvPers that want to fight in Cyrodiil. It's easier for me, but it's not what I am.
I don't know what else people are playing right now, but people have already left the game for other MMOs because they've topped out in PvE, and there's no gear treadmill. But I can say this. I know the developers are hard at work meeting with each individual guild that represents PvP and PvE, because I've been in those meetings. So they're trying to find a good balance of it. So my last question, I guess, is, do you feel like the game is going more casual, or is it going more competitive? Whether it's PvE or PvP. Where is the game headed? Sig, we'll start with you.
Oh, man, that's kind of a tough question, because where I see the game heading is they are kind of going back to classic Elder Scrolls.
So casual.
In some regards. Yeah, so I mean, it's casual, but on the other hand, and you know this very well, there is a huge presence of PvPers here that are very competitive, and outside of not adding Imperial City yet, from what I've seen anyway, I think the devs have been paying attention to what the PvPers want, and I don't see them stopping that. So I think there's a couple different dynamics at play there. On the PvE end of things, it's definitely going more casual, but I think there's always going to be that that competitive presence with the PvP side of the game.
What about you, Aloha? Do you think it's staying the same, going different?
Yeah. We don't have much information about what's happening in Rosgar, which is the first download pack that will be released. So we know that there will be new quests. We know that it will be a new zone with a main city and a whole new zone. So there will be stories. We know that those stories will be a lot more interesting because the lead animator have explained how they were working together to make the whole experience, the questing experience, more cinematographic. So that's on the casual side. But what we don't know is what dungeons they have put in it. Because if they come up with an idea a little bit in the line of the Dragon Star Arena, that can be very competitive, while it's still not so expensive in development as well. Because they can make a very hard dungeon or a dungeon with different difficulties. So you will have the normal players that will do the normal mode, and then you will have the hardcore PvPers that can compete to be on the leaderboard and something like that. So we have no indication about something like that. But if they have to do something to keep the PvEers interested in the game, they need to do something that doesn't cost too much in development, that's quite easy to make, and that can be reused a lot, and where you have a sort of competition like this, like the Dragon Star Arena.
I think they have and are doing that with 1.6, which is, it's not time trials anymore. And you get points for killing trash and stuff like that, whereas before everyone skipped it because it was time-based. So I think they are leaning towards that. The problem is that'll be fun and dandy for a month. Then people will figure it out, and it'll go back to being not fun. And the last point I like to make is, unfortunately, they said they were going to release stuff 4 to 6 weeks, and they were really spot on for about a year. And then this change happened. And I'm going to give them some time on it to see, once you get consoles out, well, let's see what it is. But can they maintain that promise of 4 to 6 weeks, regardless if it's buy to play or free to play or whatever it ends up going later in the future? Because I want new stuff to do. I really do. And I know a lot of other people do too.
But if the console is a success, then their incomes will increase and they can double their team. Haha.
And I think it will be a success. That's the last question. Will consoles be a mega success? Sig?
I think so. I think the console player base is gigantic compared to PC players.
Yeah.
And, if you watch the Elder Scrolls Online hashtag on Twitter, that's all people are talking about. When is consoles happening? When is consoles happening? Just, for the last year, it's been constant. So, I think it'll be huge, and hopefully it'll be a great influx of cash for ZeniMax, and they'll be able to provide a lot of great content coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's probably it's kind of be a phenomenon. It's the first big MMO that come on console, and title and identity that a lot of console players really like. You have seen the success that Skyrim had, so I think it can be a massive success on console, a lot more than on PC. So it could be the new World of Warcraft on console, but we will have to see that. And if it is, then it's good for us, because by Backlash once more, we will have the good side of it, hopefully.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a monstrous success, but at the expense of some PC players' fun. I really do feel that way, and unfortunately, some people are going to leave the game. I'm going to stick with it because I love it, but it's gonna ruin some PC gamers' experience because they're waiting for so long to release new stuff to get that console out. But we'll leave it there for now. I know you want to say something. What do you guys want us to cover next week?
Yes. So you guys need to vote either Cash Up or Update 6 First Impression.
Okay, so Cash Up, Update 6 First Impression. Man, that's That's pretty good. Both of them are going to be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, Sig, any final thoughts?
I think we've pretty much touched everything that I wanted to. Really looking forward to finding out what everybody wants us to talk about next week.
Yeah, guys, we need your feedback. Please tell us in the comments below what you think about this new show, if you like it.
Yeah, if you like it, we're going to keep doing it and expand on it. Let us know what we can do to improve. We want it quick, simple, and dirty, so you can come in here, talk about the latest cool topics in ESO, and take a time out from Tamriel.